Next up is Kerri Blaylock, retired head coach for Southern Illinois University. Kerri Blaylock, who retired on March 2nd, 2022, is the all-time winningest coach in both Southern Illinois softball and Saluki athletics history. During her storied tenure, SIU advanced to the NCAA postseason 8 times, which includes being the only program in conference history to make 5 straight trips from 2003 to 2007. Blaylock Salukis collected 751 victories, posted 18 30-win seasons, including 4 40-win seasons, and a program best 47 victories in 2005. In addition to Southern's on-field success, Blaylock's teams consistently ranked among the nation's best in the classroom. SIU ranked among the top 20 nationally in team GPA every season since 2001, with 11 top 5 finishes. The Salukis have also tallied 26 academic All-Americans, second to only Nebraska for the most of any D1 softball program. At this time, please enjoy this video highlighting the career of Kerri Blaylock.
Good evening, coaches. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to help salute one of my best friends.
Hey Kerri, Big Caster here. I just wanted to take some time to say congratulations on being inducted into the NFCA Hall of Fame.
What you have done not only for SIU Carbondale and the program there, but what you've done for the sport and continue to do for the sport.
It is fitting that I'm doing this on a golf course now, since that's what we do with our lives instead of softball. Can't think of anyone more deserving than you to go in tonight.
You know, you committed your life to this sport, to our program, to us as student athletes. And I am so very fortunate that you picked me to help be a part of that journey. And
what I'm impressed with most is not your unlimited knowledge of the game, but rather your ability to connect with people, not wavering on who you are and what you stand for.
Honestly, just boils down to your devotion to SIU and all of the student athletes that you've coached and mentored over the years, including myself, and just the impact that you've had on the sport of softball. I'm so happy to see you getting the recognition that you deserve.
While many coaches can claim great achievement at the institutional and conference levels, there are a scant few who have made the national impact that Kerri has.
The thing that's truly set you apart from other coaches is your honesty, your passion, and your love for the school, your players, and the coaches that you're around.
We all joked, you know, this should be a roast, and I certainly turned over some evidence to these guys to use if they please.
Okay, bud, every inning is a new inning. Let's go, bud. You got this, bud. Go hard, bud.
Here we go, big kid, here we go.
Put down and go, kid, put down and go. One of my favorite things about Kerri is that we bond over the Kardashians, and she sent herself an email one time to remind her to watch the new episode. One of my favorite memories with Kerri is when I was on crutches and couldn't walk to class, so she drove me and drove up on the sidewalk to drop me off at the door.
Hey Kerri, congratulations. We're all so proud of you.
I, like many people, came here to be a part of the magic that you created, the vision that you created here. So many times that I can think of, you had been offered to leave to Power 5 jobs, to bigger and supposed better opportunities, and you chose to stay, and we really appreciate that. It's just an incredible model for all of us of loyalty and just being a visionary here.
They wanted me to tell one of my best memories, and my best one is when I got a phone call that I had to show up to class even though I had better than a 4.0 and could probably teach the class, and I think that's what I told you when you called me and told me I had to go to class. I think I said I could teach the class, but nonetheless I went because you told me to. Thank you for making all of us better individuals. Thank you for teaching us that we need to all show up 20 minutes early to literally everything in our lives.
Over a long, long period of time, when I was the AD at Southern Illinois, my office was down from Kerri's, and I had a daughter who was getting into softball, and as a former baseball player who never bunted in his life, and Kerri liked to religiously use the bunt. So I would always come down and would have these animated discussions on bunting, why it's necessary. I was a baseball player, it doesn't translate, but it would always end up in a good, fun joke.
And I'll never forget one time coming in after a weekend going, I don't know, over too many, that you told me, players don't turn bad overnight. And in the moment, it's not what I wanted to hear, but I went home and I sat on it, and I came back and ended up having a good next weekend and went on a roll from there.
Kerri, you have a tremendous passion for this sport, and that's always been portrayed every time I've been around you. I really appreciated all of our competitive battles. Very intense, but always respectful. I really enjoyed our conversations, our talks, especially during season. You always make me smile. You have that unique ability to always bring things back and put them in perspective. I'm proud to join everyone at SIU and the Missouri Valley Conference in congratulating Kerri on being inducted into the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Kerri.
Congratulations, Coach Blaylock, for your not only your nomination, but for your acceptance into the Hall of Fame, the class of 2022 in San Antonio, Texas for the NFCA. Proud of you, buddy.
Your lifelong dedication to the game of softball and your commitment to SIU's program has been incredible. You have permanently left your imprint on the program here, and we are forever grateful. Thanks for all you've done for the game of softball and SIU.
Thank you for constantly fighting for your players, me being one of them, and I promise to do my best to continue your legacy at SIU and not mess it up. Remember, once a Saluki, always a Saluki.
You have impacted decades of young women, and not just had championship experiences in the classroom and on the field, but also have changed the trajectory of countless lives.
Thank you for always supporting me, for always pushing me when I needed to be pushed, and just for the countless memories that I have playing the sport that I love.
Soak it in. You've earned it. And thanks for staying away from Quattros on dollar pitcher nights on Wednesdays. But no, love you, Coach, and thank you for the memories, and thank you for being a great friend.
You have made such an impact on my life. You always know what to say to every single person in the moment that they need it. You become a lifelong friend, and I love that we stay in touch, and I'm so happy for the career that you've had, and I can't wait to see how happy you are in retirement and all the things that you continue to do for Saluki softball. The program will miss you, I'll miss you, and I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you for making me a better coach. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a mentor. And thank you for the opportunities still to come. Congratulations.
I am forever grateful for you, so thank you. Thank you for believing in me. I know you've impacted so many of us in a special way. Congratulations again on your special honor.
Thanks, and Kerri, you are so deserving, and I am so proud to know you and to have worked for you.
We're going to give it a shot if this guy. High five? For Kerri? High five? Come on. There it is.
Swung on, lifted to right center field, and Patterson makes the catch. And for the first time since 1991, the Southern Illinois Salukis are Missouri Valley Conference Tournament champions. And take a look at that dog pile. This will be a tough play. The throw to first is in time. And the Southern Illinois Salukis, for the third time in program history, have won the Missouri Valley Conference Softball Tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium 2022 NFCA Hall of Fame inductee, Kerri Blaylock.
Wow. Well, most people that know me know that in a very small group, I love to tell stories, joke around, have a ton of fun, but this is just a teeny bit overwhelming. So I'm so grateful and humbled to be here. Many of the former inductees I'm fortunate enough to know as friends on a personal level, and to be considered in their company is just very humbling to me tonight. I want to thank the committee for thinking that I belong in this company. I'd like to thank Carol and the NFCA. I've been fortunate enough to work with Carol and the organization and appreciate everything that all of you do for the sport of softball. I want to congratulate Jenny and Sandy and Mary Jo. I know Jenny and Sandy very, very well. And I'm very confident that if there was a diamond set up in here, all of you SIUE alums, that she would want to get out and compete right now. We pitched against each other in high school and in college, and have coached against each other for many years, so congratulations, Sandy. If you would give me just a minute and indulge me, I'd like to acknowledge a few family and friends are here. My mom is here, 78 years young, all the way from Heron, Illinois. And I'll definitely speak about her more in a little bit. I have friends that I've known for 30 to 40 years. They're here. They are my family. Melissa Morley and her husband Mark, and two of her boys, Taggart and Ty. Stephanie Shelley, Linda Schutte, Mary Jo Fernbach. Former assistants Christy Knoyer, Kenzie Bennett, and Jen Sewell. And I'd like to recognize our chancellor, Southern Illinois University Chancellor, Dr. Austin Lane, came tonight. As well as our athletic director, Tim Leonard, and our deputy AD, Katie Erlach. Thank you so much, all of you, for making the trip. It means the world to me. And I want to thank Jen Sewell and Olivia Clark Kittleson for all the efforts that they put in to make this night so special. I'm going to spend my time up here tonight as a night of gratitude for me. Hall of Fame coaches, I've always said this, become Hall of Fame coaches because of Hall of Fame players, Hall of Fame assistants, and Hall of Fame families that support that coach. And tonight I want to take a moment to go into that. My life as a coach was filled with great people and circumstances no different than Jenny's that got me here tonight. My first is my parents. My dad was what I refer to as the original girl dad. He was a girl dad before it was cool to be a girl dad. He was my best friend. I was, for you youngsters, you may not know who this is, but I was just like Loretta Lynn. I was a coal miner's daughter. He worked long and hard, but always made time for my brother and I. When he would play catch with my brother, who was 6 years older than me, I got to play. When they would hunt or fish, I went too. I might have fallen asleep in the duck blind. I did not know how to take the fish off the hook, but I was there. He took me to a men's fast pitch game in the area, and I was hooked. And he probably gave me the best advice that I ever got. I wanted to be a catcher. You know, when you go to the park when you're a little kid, you got to put on all the gear. And he said, sis, what'd he call me? Sis, you can't hit, and you're too slow. But I think pitching may be the way to go. So many people have thought that is harsh through the years, especially those players. They're like, I can't believe he said that. You know, he taught me so many valuable lessons like work ethic, responsibility, accountability, but that lesson was the best one. Each of us have a unique gift. Find that and use it. I had a Hall of Fame high school career, college career, and here I am. I think he was a pretty smart man. And I know he's looking down on me tonight, and he's really, really proud. Mom, you're the strongest person I know. Even though you were dealing with a terminally ill husband and son at the same time, which is unthinkable, you made my life as normal as possible. I always said that my mom made chicken salad out of chicken shit. She figured out how to make sure I had everything that I needed in high school and college, all dealing with my dad and brother's illness. I'll never forget the conversation that I had with her when I decided to continue coaching. How Jenny and I were both accountants, and we never worked, well, she worked, I didn't work a day in my life. She helped pay for a very, very pricey accounting degree and an MBA. And here I asked her, would you support me for a few more years while I get started in this profession? She never hesitated. Her words were always, we'll figure it out. Mom, I think it turned out pretty good. I do want to say that she was my biggest supporter, but she could also be my biggest critic. Phone calls after the game were, Kerri, who hit the home runs? She knew I was the pitching coach. Never asked about how they did. And her next question was, you didn't get thrown out, did you? For all of you in the audience that don't know me, 2 years ago at the Arizona State Regional, it was the only game on that Thursday night. I made it 3 batters, and I got tossed. I have a really hard time with that rule that says you can't argue balls and strikes. So, sorry about that. So, moving on, the next person, growing up in Heron, Illinois, really the only sport that mattered if you were a female was softball. So the next person, you remember my dad said that I could only be a pitcher, and I took his advice. And so my high school coach and mentor, his name was Bruce Gillak, and he also passed earlier this year. He's a Hall of Famer in the state of Illinois. And he taught me to pitch, but he taught me so many other things. I wanted to coach because of him. He taught me so many things throughout my career, and one of the young ladies on the film talked to me about being early, and punctuality was one of those things. So my friends get so mad at me because I always, I'm like, get out the door, get out the door, get out the door. I'm the one that has to be there 20 minutes early, and that was him. But I will never forget a conversation I had with him my freshman year. I came back from my first collegiate tournament, and I was devastated. So we played Texas A&M, and they had won the national championship the year before. And I struck out the first 2 hitters. I was flying high. I was walking around. And then they hit back to back to back to back home runs. 4 in a row. There's a player by the name of Liz Mazzara. I don't know if any of you remember Liz Mazzara. Yeah, she had 8 RBIs against me in that game. So I had to look up, and she only had 36 that year, so I accounted for a lot of that. But so I come home devastated, and I went to Coach Gillak, and he said, I had told him a story, and he looked at me and he said, you know what, Kerri, you've been an underdog your whole life. And he said, what makes you special is that you're competitive. He said he always thought that pitchers were way smarter than hitters. Always told me that. He said, it's your job to figure it out. So he always encouraged me to dream bigger. I ended up having a great college career because of him. As the circumstances would go, the next individual I'd like to mention is Coach Kay Brechtelsbauer. Some of you remember her and know her. She was the head coach at SIU for 32 years before handing the program off to me. She changed the course of my life with one phone call. I'd finished my graduate assistantship, and I decided I wanted to coach and give up accounting. Not a hard decision at all. I had applied everywhere with no luck, laying on my bed at my house crying, feeling sorry for myself, and she calls me. She said she had approval to hire me as a part-time assistant for $5,000. That's just a little less than that accounting degree would have brought home. So I jumped at the chance, asked my mom, and worked with Coach B for 9 years. So she passed away earlier this year also, but if not for her, I would not be here. I'd like to thank all the assistant coaches that have worked with me over the years, Katie, Erin, Kelsey, Maddie, and Kenzie. And I'd like to talk about my 3 associate head coaches. Buddy Foster was not able to be here tonight. He was the first person I called when I got the job. We've known each other since we were 13 years old. I played against his sister. We became friends. We coached together at SEMO for a few years. And the bond that developed there is why I trusted him. We forgot equipment. For those of you assistants that do that, it's okay. We lost gas cards. We lined fields when the liners broke with Gatorade cups. So if anybody tells you, oh, that's just a story, it's not. We did. And he helped me. So he kept me so grounded in moments. When you're a young coach, I was 33 when I took the job. And the first regional we played in was at Alabama, the 2003 regional. And we're playing Stanford. John Rittman was the coach. Lauren Lappin's on the team, Jess Allister. And it's the 4th inning. I'm calling pitches. He's sitting next to me on the bucket. And we're beating him 6-0. Now, this is Southern Illinois, you all. And I looked at Buddy and I said, holy shit, we're beating Stanford. He said, Kerri, it's the 4th inning, shut up, you know. I wanted to enjoy it because I didn't know if we'd get back, so. But he really kept me grounded. Christy, when Buddy left, you were the first person I thought of. Our personalities are quite different. Christy's so patient, I am not. Christy's soft-spoken, I am not. But you're so good for me. And I want you all to know she was my stand-in to take every coin flip. Christy is such a good Catholic that I had her at every coin toss. Especially we played Notre Dame that year at the Northwestern Regional. I sent her. She's a Notre Dame alum, and I sent her to get we didn't get the coin toss, though, did we? We had several great years before you moved on to take the head job at St. Louis University. And again, a great friend. Thank you so much. Jen, we've spent the last 14 years together at SIU, and I believe every head coach that is worth anything works really hard to find a loyal and trusted assistant. When Christy left, I wanted you to stay and continue at SIU, even though you had opportunities. You were the nuts and bolts of our program over the last several years. This past year has been so trying with me stepping down during the season, and you handled it better than anyone I can think of. Pretty cool to be able to coach with one of your best friends, and I'm so grateful that you are the 3rd head coach in SIU history. So deserving. To all the former players that I have coached, there's a couple here in attendance, Tara Archibald and Danielle Stanger. It was always about you. I loved being your coach. I always have said I don't know if I'm a Hall of Fame coach, but I think I'm a pretty good recruiter. We got the right kids at SIU. They bought into our culture, they bought into our philosophy. That young lady on the video that said about going to class, I don't want you to think she was a slacker. She's a 4.0 in accounting again, I know, accounting. She's my State Farm agent right now. She's so bright, but she did tell me, she's like, Kerri, I'm gonna go because it's you, but I really could teach the class. But my greatest joy was being able to mentor these young women and prepare them for life. To me, lessons from being on a team and lessons that are learned on a softball field are so valuable. And I'm so fortunate to have been able to coach so many great young ladies. I understand there's probably a lot of stories about me, but I hope I passed on some wisdom. I also want to mention that I've been fortunate to have so many friends in this organization and mentors. Melinda Fisher took me to my very first convention. It was incredible. I was in Atlantic City. Now, this is someone from Heron, Illinois. I'd never been out. I don't know if I'd been on a plane at that point, and I'm in Atlantic City. But it was awesome. Coaches such as Joe Evans, Carol Hutchins, Jackie Joseph, Joan Joyce, Karen Weekly, Patrick Murphy, Tim Walton, Rhonda Revelle, and I could literally go on, spent time and talked to a young coach from Southern Illinois, and it meant the world to me. Carol and I used to sit and watch games together, recruiting, and laugh for hours. I can pick up a phone and call or text Patty Gasso and Jennifer Rocha at any time, and she answers the phone right when I call. Patty and I have spent so many times at the Women's College World Series talking about softball, and I value and appreciate her friendship. It just means the world to me about this coaches and this organization and what they will do for young coaches when they get started. Missouri Valley coaches are the best. We have great competition. Sometimes we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we have each other's back. Melinda, Holly Hesse, Rich Calvert, Ryan Jacobs, all these people that I had coached with for years and years and years. I have great friendships with coaches in our league, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my friends that are here tonight. Missy, Mary Jo, Steph, Linda, Ty, Taggart. You are my family. I don't have a large family. I told you my brother and dad died young, but you are. Softball has taken me away from some moments with you. Births, funerals, and I hope I can make up for that now. I would like to conclude by talking about Southern Illinois University. What a special place. 3 head coaches in 60 years, you all. Just think about that. What's so special that people want to stay? I had many opportunities over the years to leave, and I'm sure some of my colleagues wondered why I didn't. Of course, my family and the illness played a part, but SIU played a part. Being able to compete at the highest level but while being that underdog or being a mid-major. I love recruiting against the bigger schools. I love competing against the bigger schools. I love the personality of Southern Illinois. I love the hard hat lunch pail type. I would like to thank all of my administration that I work for and all the support staff that stood by us. I'm honest, I know this, that I was a pain in the butt for sure. I always wanted to push softball to the forefront at SIU, and I had administrators and support staff that wanted to do it. To sum this up, I feel like the luckiest person alive. I was able to coach for over 30 years at one place. For me, it was never about mere recognition. It was about giving back. It was about impacting young women. It was about representing my university and Southern Illinois region. Do not get me wrong. Competing is the ultimate, and winning is very, very sweet. But watching those young women get a degree and watching them mature and succeed in life is the absolute ultimate for me. I poured everything I had into my job. I would not recommend that. For all of you in this profession, take care of yourself because that's very, very important, and your health is important. Again, I'm so thankful, grateful, and humble for this honor. Thank you.